Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is Robert Hardy. This is the live video of Excel Your Life. Excel Your Life, taking you to the next level. This is the Excel Your Life show. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Thank you for watching my live video. Thank you for taking the time to be here with me. Whether you're watching the live or watching the replay, I appreciate you taking the time to watch. And please like the video, please share the video, please also just let me know where you're watching from, where you're watching from, what city, what province, what state, what country you're watching from, even what time zone if you want to. Right now I'm in Pacific time in Vancouver, BC area, and then we're running on Pacific time here. So if you want to even let me know what time zone you're in, so just let me know. But this doesn't matter. If this is the first time you're watching my video, please leave a 1. If you see my other previous videos, please leave a 2. I know people are liking these videos and also sharing these videos because I see the numbers of viewers are going up, and I really appreciate all of you guys who's helping me by sharing these videos to get these videos in front of many people as possible can. And that's why, as I said before, this is where I need your help. My goal is to get these videos that I'm doing on a daily basis, to get them in front of as many people, the faces and eyes in front of many people as I possibly can. And I can't do that by myself. I need your help to share these videos on your timeline and on your page, on your group. Well, your page too, if you have your own page, your group, and your groups that it belongs to. So I really appreciate you doing that. Anyways, with that said, let's get into tonight's topic and to tonight's what we're going to talk about tonight. Tonight we're going to talk about the ingredients for success. Now, this is a topic that I've done before a few months ago, and I want to do it. Well, a lot of these live videos I'm going to be repeating things that I've done in the past, like a few months ago and stuff like that. Because even if I've done it once before, it'd be good just to go over it again. And because I know, and even if you heard me doing this one before, it's good to hear it again because, we forget things, right? So, so we're going to go over the ingredients for success. Now, how I came up with this one, I have to tell you guys a story. How I came up with this topic here was a few months ago. I was at work and I was working, and I was baking a banana bread, and when I was baking the banana bread, I was following a recipe that I've used before in the past, and so I was using the recipe again. It's a recipe that I found online for how to make a banana bread. And I liked the recipe, so I was going to use it again. I think at the time, that was about the third time that I used this particular recipe to make a banana bread, because I liked the way the banana bread turned out. Right, it wasn't too sweet. It was nice and soft and moist, and I like that. So I decided to use it again. So, anyways, make a long story short, I end up putting in the wrong ingredient in the bread because I wasn't paying attention to details of one of the particular ingredient. And so the lesson I learned from that is how the ingredients for success. I find that success is like following the instruction to bake a cake or to make a meal. It doesn't have to be a cake. It has to be how to make a meal, right? You have instruction how to make a certain type of meal, or bake a bread, a cake, or whatever, banana bread, whatever you want to do. You have the ingredients. You can follow instruction. And so I find that success is like that. When you follow an instruction, you follow a recipe. The recipe call for a certain specific amount of each item, like 2 cups of this or a tablespoon of that, or 4 cups of this, stuff like that. It'll be specific instruction that you have to follow. And if you follow it, and as you follow the ingredients and you follow the recipe to the letter, and do everything precisely as a recipe called for, there's no reason why your cake or your banana bread or the meal that you're preparing won't turn out as how the instructor, how the person who wrote the recipe who say that it should turn out. Because if you follow everything to the letter and have all the ingredients that's necessary to bake the cake or to bake the banana bread or to make the meal. So now find that success is also like that. Success, you have to follow specific instruction. You have to follow a system. You have to have a system in place, and you have to follow that system. And if success is also habitual. You can tell where a person is going based on their habits. If you have good, successful habits, you know that you're going to be successful someday. But if you have poor habits, then you know you're not going to be, and that's something that we all struggle with. So a lot of most people have poor habits, and that's why they never achieve great success in their life, including myself. I'm trying to change my habit, my way of doing things, my lifestyle. They say you can tell where a person's going to end up in life based on their habits, right? Based on a few things, but also their habits. But I find success is like following the recipe to bake a cake, to bake a banana bread, or to do anything. If you have the recipe and you follow that recipe, you can and will be successful. So that's where I come up with the title, the ingredients for success. Or I could even say the recipe for success. You can even change the word from ingredients to the recipe for success, because a recipe is a list of instruction on how to bake or make a cake or a banana bread, or how to make a certain specific type of meal. You'll follow the recipe, you'll get the result that you're seeking, that you want from your effort and your time and effort. Anyway, so that's a kind of big introduction to this topic tonight. So what we're gonna do is kind of get into. I'm gonna go over the four. I came up with four things, the ingredients for success. And what we're gonna do every night, we're gonna go over take one each night. So this is gonna be like a mini series again. So we're gonna talk about one each for the next 4 nights, starting tonight, and then for the next 3 nights start. So the first one we're gonna talk about is okay. So the first one is, so I'll be more in the shot here. First one is pay attention to details. The second one is rely on past experience. 3 is learn how to follow instruction, or learn how to follow a recipe. And 3, stay focused. And 4, stay focused. So we're going to talk about each one, but tonight we're going to talk about the first one. Pay attention to details. Now, this is the one area in my life, particularly in my life, that I have struggled with, is paying attention to details, especially on my, I still have a job and I work at my job, and I find that was one of the things that on my job that I had to really work on for myself, is to pay attention to details. Because sometimes I make mistakes at work, and the mistake that I make at work was as a result of me not paying attention to details. If I was paying attention to details, I would not have made that mistake, right? And so we find that also it's true in life. In life, a lot of time we make mistake only as a result, direct result, that in the fact that we are not paying attention to details. We need to learn to pay attention to details. When I was making this banana bread, how I came up with this idea to this topic for the ingredients for success, or the recipe for success, is I made a mistake. I put the wrong ingredients. Well, it wasn't the wrong ingredients, the wrong amount of a particular ingredients in this bread, only because I was not paying attention to the details. And so Well, I find that paying attention to details is one of the key ingredients to success. You gotta, it's just like I say, one of the things to achieve success is to follow a system. And when you have a system in place, a system is based on details. Certain things you have to do. You have to pay attention to details. And so this is one of the ways of being successful or achieving success in your life is you have to pay attention to details. So I'm going to come up with I just came up with, there's lots of ways and lots of things you can do to pay attention to details, but we're going to discuss about three of them tonight. We're going to talk about. Number one is don't multitask. Don't try not to multitask. Okay, when you're working on a project or when you're working and doing something, try just to do one thing at a time. Don't multitask, because when your attention is scattered from more than one thing that you're doing at a time. When your attention is scattered, so is your detail attention. If you're having more than one thing going on at the same time, it's very hard for you to focus on any one thing and to pay attention to each item that you're working on. So the best way to help you to stay to pay attention, close attention to detail, is to do one thing at a time. That's one thing that I have to do in my own personal life too, is sometimes when I'm working on something, let's say I'm working something around the house, for example, I had to train myself. Okay, just do this one thing, because sometimes that's what I used to do too. I was in the habit of multitasking. Sometimes I'm doing 2, 3, 4, 5 things, right? And I never would seem to get anything done. But when I stopped doing that and I stopped doing one thing at a time before I go on to something else, make sure I finish what I was doing on this one particular item. Then when this one was finished, then go and do this other thing. Sometimes even at work, I'm like that too. Sometimes, when you're at work, you can be, the type of work that I do, something can pull in different direction. People making demand on your time and stuff, on your attention. And so I had to learn how to just say, well, I have to learn to say no for one thing, but I also learned to before going on to doing something, finish what you're doing at this one thing. So if I'm working on something, make sure I finish it before going to something else, and don't multitask, because the more you multitask, the more spread out your attention is, and the more spread out your attention is, the less you pay attention to details. And one of the recipes to success is you got to pay attention to details. A lot of successful people pay attention to details, the small tasks, the little things that need to be done. They make sure they get it done, and they make sure they get it done on time, and make sure they get it done correctly and efficiently. So one of the ingredients to success, if you're a business owner, for example, you're starting up a business, you got to pay attention to details. That's one of the things that business owners, especially entrepreneurs, people who've been in, running their own business, they're good at seeing the grand pictures of what they want and where they want to go. But when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, small detail things, that's where a lot of people are lacking, and that's where a lot of people are falling short. They're falling short in paying attention to the detail of the everyday things that they need to get done on a daily basis, myself included. There's something, as I said, it's something I had to learn to work on and continuously working on, right? You have to pay attention to details, do one thing at a time, don't multitask, try not to multitask, right? And another thing, which leads to step 2, is delegate. Delegate or ask for help. Delegate or ask for help. Again, if you have too many things going on at the same time and you have your attention spread out, you can't pay that much attention to each item that you have going on, don't be afraid to delegate. If delegation means hiring someone to do outsourcing your work, hiring someone to do something that you don't have the time to do, or just simply asking for help, that's what you need to do to help you pay attention to details. If you're right, if you're writing something, like for example, you're writing a book or writing an article or something, one of the ways to do is to have someone proofread your article. How many times that when you're writing a book or writing something, sometimes when you ask someone to proofread it for you, they'll see something that you didn't see, because your mind, when you're reading your own writing, you're reading what you intended to say. And so sometimes your eyes will skip over words or phrases that that was either spelled incorrectly or was worded incorrectly, because what you meant to say. So your eyes won't pick up on certain things. But when someone who's reading what you wrote objectively, they can pick up on things. That's why it's so important to get someone to proofread your stuff before you put it out there. So pay attention to details, including asking for help or delegating certain tasks or certain things to other people that will benefit you or will help you to pay attention to details. That sometimes some of the things that you might even missed. Going back to my story about when I was baking that cake. I mean, sometimes what I should have done, I should have maybe get someone to help me. It would help me with the ingredients, read the ingredients, and then I'll pay attention to help me that way. Then maybe I would have messed up that way. So the second thing is delegate or ask for help. Ask for help from other people if you have to. We're talking about how to pay attention to details. Oh shoot, what happened there? Okay. Hi. Okay. Hi. Something happened there. I lost my video feed for there. I did clicked on something and I couldn't see myself there for a moment. Anyways, get distracted there. So that's the number 3. So number 3 now. So number 3 now is the last one. We're talking about how to pay attention to detail. We talk about, I should have kept it there for a little bit. One is don't multitask. Don't multitask, or try not to multitask. 2, ask for delegate or ask for help. And 3, also prioritize. Prioritize or make a list. Now I don't know if I spelled prioritize correctly, but sometimes I don't know if I spelled prioritize correctly, but you guys get it. Prioritize or make a list. That's number 3. Just going to talk about 3 tonight. So prioritize or make a list. Prioritize things. That's one way of also helping you to pay attention to details when you're going down to a list. So prioritize, make a list of things, or make a list of steps that you need to follow in order to accomplish your goals and your dream, to finish off your project, whatever project you're working on. Make a list and pay attention to that list. Okay, so that's another way of how to pay attention to details. Is you prioritize things, or you make a list of priorities, and you try to follow that list as best as you can. And again, you go back down to, you go from one to the next, according to the list. You do one thing at a time. Remember, number one is don't multitask. So you don't want to be multitasking and all the, if you say a list of 5 things, and your list of 5 things you need to do, you don't want to be doing all 5 at the same time. But only list one thing at a time. Finish number 1, then number 2, then number 3, then number 4, and number 5. I put them in priority frequency. Which one is a more priority? This is more priority, and in our priority sequence. So you do them according to how much of a priority they are. So that's the third way. As I said, there's more than just 3 ways to pay attention, but I just want to cover just three tonight. But there's many other ways of how you can pay attention to details. There's there's books and articles out there you can actually read to help you with this. But for this tonight, we're going to talk about just the 3. 1 is don't multitask. 2, delegate or just simply ask for help. And 3, prioritize or make a list of things that need to get done. And these 3 steps, when you're on your road to achieving great success in your life, and you want to follow the recipe for success. 1 is you have to pay attention to details. Pay attention to details. All right, that's one of the ingredients for success, or part of the recipe for success. You have to pay attention to details. So we're gonna cut it off here tonight, guys. I hope you guys got something out of it. I said something that teach you, it was a kind of a teaching lesson for you tonight. So tomorrow night we'll continue talking about number 2 of the ingredients for success. Tomorrow we're talking about relying on past experiences. As I said, this is how I came up. I came up with this ingredients for success for baking a banana bread, following a particular recipe, which I've done before, but I messed up on it. So if I would rely on past experiences, I would know that I shouldn't have put in that particular amount of one of the ingredients that I did. I should have said, no, I did this before. It didn't call for that much of this particular ingredients. So, but I didn't, and I put way too much of this particular ingredient in, and kind of ruined the whole thing. So, anyways, so sometimes in achieving success and going out, pursuing your goals and your dreams, sometimes you have to rely on past experiences to help you along the way. So we talk about that tomorrow. And for the other 2 nights, we'll talk about the other ones. Anyway, thanks for joining me tonight. Kevin, thanks for joining me. Joseph, thanks for joining me. Jerry Barnes, thank you. Jerry, thanks for joining me. Hope you guys get something out of this. Appreciate all of you guys coming on and watching my live. Tomorrow we'll continue on this, the ingredients for success, or we can say the recipe for success. So until tomorrow, God bless you guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.